Welcome to the Shifting Realities podcast. I'm your host, Julie Allison, and with me is my co-host and friend, Robert Perry.
Hello there.
Hi, Rob. Right. This podcast marks the start of our series 3, episode 1. And in this series, we are going to talk, to our heart's desire about connecting with guides. We're finally there about all connecting with guides. What we're going to do in this first podcast is put things into context, really hone things back in. We have been talking to you about how to let go of all the lower side of frequencies, that things like anything to do with fear, all these low energies that are really stopping us, actually stopping us connecting with guides. But now we're going to go into the meat of it, and we're going to go through today some of the just going to go back to square one. Treat this as your first driving lesson in terms of connecting with guides. Now, Rob, when we connected this morning before we started the recording, Rob's done something I should be going back to as well. Something I first did, and that's having a pack of oracle cards and using those cards to connect. Now, Rob, what did you get from these cards this morning?
I got exactly what I knew I would get. As is always the case with these cards.
Yes,
When you do it with the proper intention, they just tell you what you know.
they do.
But it
Yes.
was easy. I drew 3 cards this morning because I wanted just to get some focus on this new series.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
today I thought, okay, so where are we starting this? What do I need to tell people? What do we need to tell people?
Mm.
So I used the lovely Jamie Price light language cards, which you and I both love and use.
Yes. Amazing.
And my first card was denial. And
Mm-hmm.
that, of course, for me was like, duh. I still go through denial.
Mm.
I came
Imagine.
from a position of denial, like, what guides? No guides out there. It's just nonsense. I'm just imagining this. And second card I got was intention. So that reminder that when you want to connect up to guides at any level, you have to do so with purpose.
Mm.
There's no point in just connecting up and going, hello, talk to me. I'm here. They've got other things to do. And my last card was self-worth. And that's the thing, it's back to what we always say about going within, understanding yourself, getting yourself in gear, and understanding your worth, your value. So it's getting over the denial, allowing denial occasionally to still lurk and just being able to recognize it, connecting to guides for a reason, not because it might be fun, and doing it with a sense of value.
Mm.
Like, I deserve to be able to do this. I have worked, through lots of problems and issues. I'm at a point now where, in terms of my frequency and my desire to ascend to a better frequency, I now want to rise up and I want to meet guides on a new level.
Mm.
And you and I were talking earlier, Julie. We always expect guides to come down a level to us,
We
which is
do.
desperately patronizing.
We do.
They don't vibrate on our level, so we have to get up to them.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
this is lovely. Yeah, let's start with this. The
go on.
denial
Yeah,
card. The denial
yeah.
card. Yeah. And we had the words. This might trigger some people, but we had the word. How ignorant we are, and how this arrogance we have. That humans have. Why would we expect some, guides of a higher realm, of a greater understanding, higher understanding, to stoop to our level? And I gave the analogy, didn't I? It's like, I'm English, I'm proper Yorkshire. It's like me going on my travels, going on my holidays to somewhere, to a foreign country. So let's just say either France or Germany. And I just go there and expect everybody to speak English, going there, oh, everybody's speaking in a different language. Why aren't they speaking in
Mm-hmm.
in my understanding and my language? And this is like me not understanding the culture, not getting to know what's going on. I mean, when I first started with guides, I would also get to, know them a bit better. What's your planet like? Rather than just, I want a guide to show me everything I need to do,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But and it's just literally, it does feel so kind of ignorant that we would expect a guide to come down and bring a feather down. Now, I know that happens. I know that happens from some of the other realms. You know, if we were to talk about, let's for instance, going within and connecting with our higher self, for instance. Higher self, when we say, I'd love to talk to the high guides, or, you know, I want them to, you know, put a, you know, touch my nose, or, you know, knock something over or something like that. Why in earth would they do that to us when they can quite easily, your higher self can have a chat with you? That would be
Yeah.
the, you know, better, that would be the better option. And there are many ways that you can connect with your higher self and chat. So that's what I really feel about denial. You know, the first thing is, you know, why would we expect you know, everything to evolve around us now? Now, you know, our world we create, but
Yeah.
we've also got to be in tune with those that can help us create, which could be your higher aspect of yourself. You know, humans are, we think we're the everything, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but, you know, generally we'll see around where humans are quite, you know, sort of arrogant in thinking, you know, we are the most intelligent beings. You know, and we can probably tell you from our experience of seeing other beings, you know, I feel like saying, I'm sorry, but we are just the goldfish in the goldfish bowl, and there are
Yeah.
plenty of other things out there. And with that arrogance comes the fear, and with that arrogance comes the world we've all created right now. And that's why we need to change to, you know, and create a different world that we want for ourselves.
Yeah.
Would you agree,
Yeah.
Rob, with that?
I would agree. And, you know, it's that denial slash fear, because they're
Mm,
about the same thing,
yeah,
really,
yeah,
that will cause you to sit there trying to connect with guides and getting absolutely nowhere.
yes,
And
yes,
then the denial just grows
yeah,
because you're coming at it the wrong way for the wrong reason.
yeah,
You know, your intention, the
exactly.
next card, is not correct.
The intention, yeah,
Yeah.
let's move on to that. Yeah, the
Absolutely.
intention.
Yeah.
And again, when we get, both of us, when we get clients go, oh, you know, I'd love to connect with guides, very first question we should be asking ourselves is why?
Yeah. Why?
Why would you want to connect?
Yeah. What have they for you that you don't have?
Mm, mm, yeah,
And you know, why do you want to connect with specifically um Princess Diana, or Mary
Mary
Magdalene,
Magdalene,
or Christ, or the
Isis,
Buddha, or, you know, pick your deity.
yeah,
And, you know,
or
Princess Diana is now a deity for all of us, I
yeah,
think. You know, why? What have they got to
yeah,
tell you, and why do you want to connect
hmm,
to them
mm,
particularly?
yeah,
You know, so think it through.
yeah.
You know,
Mm.
and you know, where do you think it through? Internally.
Internally,
Yeah.
yeah, because this is a problem, you know, with us is we think everything's outside, and me and Rob, you know, we're constantly saying, no, everything that you want to know is actually within you. So yes, exactly. When you want to connect, and I think what people are doing is they're seeing things on the outside, that people are doing this channeling, as we call it. So channeling, generally, the term for it, as we know, as we understand in the spiritual world, channeling is to do with more. You can use it in different terms, but where you almost take your body away and allow another being to come through your body. Now, I don't particularly want, you know, agree with this. I think that's not the way to get all the information that you ever want. You know, that doesn't feel the right way to do it. That doesn't feel like part of, let's say, a new earth perspective. That's not the way we would be going if we were all present beings and going within. And so when you see somebody channeling, and perhaps, you know, the body being taken over, there's jerking and there's the eye
Mm.
flickering. I'm sorry. I am going and look at them thinking, what are they doing? They don't have to do that. You don't have to do that at all to get information that you really truly need. It's all within. But I think I need to say this because it feels like, you know, it pains me. I can discern that it feels the wrong thing when I hear people going, oh, I'd love to, you know, that person over there is channeling. It might be something on, you know, it might be a famous person on YouTube or something with the, you know, channeling the Archangel Metatron or Archangel Michael.
Hmm.
Um,
Pick an angel, any angel.
what
Yeah.
did you say, Rob, about this? You know, like they must be busy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, these poor angelic beings and ascended masters, must really have tons of time on their hands because they are at our beck and call, apparently.
Yeah, you
And
can
yet
call them
they are
anytime.
vibrating so far above us.
Yeah,
It's incredibly difficult to communicate with them on
yeah,
our terms.
yeah,
So
exactly.
and there's no appointment book. You
Yeah.
can't get on the spiritual telephone and say, do you mind if we have a chat Thursday at 11, please? That's not the
Not
way
gonna
it
work.
works.
Not gonna
No,
work. Yeah,
no.
yeah. And that's it. And I mean, my understanding of this is more that what's oh, and this, this one of well, I know I was Isis in another
Hmm.
previous life. Well, I'm not quite sure. Would you say, Rob, that, like 3 million people could be Isis in another lifetime, in another
Well, I suppose, she
incarnation?
was a
So
goddess and infinite, so
yeah,
I
and
suppose
could be
anything's possible.
fractalized
Yeah, but
into beings that much.
did ISIS exist?
But what?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what? Well, that again is about going within. Don't ask
Mm-hmm.
anybody else. Go, ask yourself.
Discern.
That to me is more about going in with consciousness. So if we're talking
Yeah.
about Christ, consciousness gives you a clue, really, and the the divine, masculine and feminine. Yes, I absolutely agree that we should be looking into really balancing that off. Um, but can you see how it's a consciousness? So to me, what I feel like people are doing is they're just tuning in to, if you want to call it an Akashic record, even, or a
Yeah.
memory of whether it's ISIS or whatever. And that might not necessarily, you might just think it's ISIS because of our interpretation. And we've also got to understand, until as we learn, we'll understand more. But when we're first starting off in this, just as we start off in a driving lesson, we don't know all the information enough to go on a Formula One circuit. You wouldn't go, oh, I want to drive, I'm going to have one lesson and now I'm going to go off 300-mile-an-hour circuit. You just don't know enough, and we interpret things based on what we know. And I know that as well, because sometimes it is hard to interpret as a human being. It's hard to interpret some of the things that the guides are attempting to show us, and they'll show me, it's almost through telepathy. I'm going to that in another episode more. But the time when you say, words could not express, there are no English words to express, is the time I'm listening to somebody thinking, it feels like you're getting the right information, we
Mm.
just need to build on that and start to interpret it. And it might take you months and months to finally get into a bigger interpretation of who you are and who you meant, what you meant to say. I don't mean to say that you have to stop serving or not serve, but it just means that's growing in you, rather than thinking, you've got a, Archangel Michael or whoever will come down, swoop down and help you. We've
Yeah.
said this before, haven't we, Rob, that who is going to save us all? Now we can probably say here, safe to say that there's not Jesus, just himself, going to come back again and save you. In fact, surprise, surprise, this only savior that's going to save you is yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And
And what are
that
you saving
is,
yourself from?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. What are people wanting to say?
Yeah.
What the questions we've got? Why would you want to be saved? Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
you're going to be saved from a low for your frequency. Well, perhaps you maybe just need to change that low for your frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's back to the denial and the fear.
yeah. Back to denial. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. With that,
Yeah. And
definitely.
I think it's important to remember that we call these entities guides for a reason, because they
Yes,
guide us.
exactly.
They aren't the be all and end all. They don't know everything.
Mm,
They exist on their own level of vibration, which
yeah,
has X amount of knowledge,
yeah.
and they will share that and guide us with that as we raise our frequency higher.
Mm, mm,
But they aren't the answer to everything. They're a useful tool, and they are there, and they will help without any judgment at all if you
mm,
ask for help.
mm-hmm.
But you
Yeah,
have to ask for help for the right things,
yeah.
not about can I win the lottery on Saturday
Yeah,
and things like that.
yes,
They're not there for that purpose at all. They're there to
exactly,
help you as a spiritual being evolve
exactly,
and share their
yes.
experience with you
Mm,
and warn you.
mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, warn you about, things,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So, I think when you start to connect to guides, you can quite easily go into the fantasy land
Yeah.
and you can do the perceived I must connect, therefore with Saint Germain or whoever,
Yeah.
pick an ascended master of choice,
Yeah.
or you start to imagine all sorts of guides being there.
Mm.
But you do very quickly learn to discern what's real and what isn't.
You do,
You know,
yeah. I don't know if you've had any experiences, Rob, but I've had a very recent, even
mm,
though I've been doing this a little while, this is why I never want to feel that I'm so arrogant to say, oh, I now know it all, because I don't. I'm constantly learning and training from, my inner, looking into my inner self to find out what's true. And last month, which would have been March 2024, I was in meditation, as I do every day, because I like to connect and just check in with what I'm doing every day. And sometimes it's more about what I'm doing for humanity, or how I'm adapting the healing side of things. And within seconds of me going into meditation, I saw the presence, very, very clear, the presence of Jesus in front of me, and went, oh, hello there, right, okay. And it would be the presence of Jesus, how we would, most of us in this culture would understand it. So with a white robe and the usual, the long parted hair. And I basically sat there in neutral. I go into being the neutral observer, just sat there. And Jesus said, he said, hello, I'm Jesus. And I could see him, pointing his hands. And here is Mary. Here is Mary Magdalene. So first of all, I'm sitting there in observer mode thinking, yes, I do need to, we do need to know more about the union between masculine and feminine. And they are, supposed to be,
yeah,
representing that. And I'm all of a sudden, I mean, this, when something feels like it's a long time, but it's probably about 20 seconds in, I'm going in my, even my head on my heart, really, gone into my heart space thinking, hang on a minute, who are you really? Who are you? And as soon as I did, I do my process. I take steps to really understand beings that are coming to me. Are you of the light? I'll always check anyway.
yeah,
Once I've gone within, are you beings of the light? And I did all my process. And all of a sudden, I could even feel I'm going, evil. I could even, without being fear, those words came to me, gosh, you're evil. And I could see all of a sudden his face really twisting round into something else. And then it sort of melted. It was if it was in a grid, so
yeah,
almost like a computer grid. Remembering our DNA is very much a computerized system. It's technical and biological. And so it was like that. It was like almost in a grid, and it melted through this grid. So you can see how easily there are things, I wouldn't even really call them, they're not really organic beings in that way, but there are things that are easily coming through to us. Certainly, if we've not raised our vibration higher,
yeah,
that I'm going to say, yeah, you can easily channel with whatever that was, but can you see how they're not necessarily going to be giving you the correct information? It might not be anything to be completely fearful of. When I say evil, it's just maybe more to do with light, what's light and dark, what's right and wrong. So again, with no fear. So yeah, as they melted, that's my afterwards. My true guides and my true high self were almost, a metaphor of clapping, going, yay, that was that your test over with, because I know that might be what I have to deal with other people, so to really understand. And I don't understand it all. I don't understand where they came from exactly, what they were doing there, how I got them. But I will do. This is why you would then go in with your own guides. Mum's going, do I have to look at this more? I might, but it did feel see, for me, the answer there was, you will be dealing with this more. And this is why I feel like I need to put this on this podcast
yeah,
today of just people wanting to channel people, because see who you might be channeling. And that would really, more than anything, just keep people stuck and keep people in this particular frequency of
yeah,
earth. Everything we do, the higher consciousness is just basically going to be a higher frequency of earth that we will all then create and see on the outside for ourselves, working on our higher
yeah.
frequency on the inside. I don't know whether you've had any similar experiences, Rob, or understand or
Yeah,
agree?
lighter experiences, perhaps. I remember when I was first connecting with guides and I was really just getting hit after hit after hit. And I was
Mm,
getting their purpose and their function, their role in my life, should I choose to
mm,
connect with them. And there was one that I followed, and it had a really playful sense about it.
mm.
And I was quite keen to follow this guide. I thought, this is really interesting. Where are you going? And another guide who I had quite a solid relationship with at that point came and said, it's absolutely fine to follow that one, but don't expect anything. That's just fun. That
Yes.
will play with you.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and we do also expect the guides to be deadly serious. And
Not
there is a
many are
tremendous
actually. Not
sense of
many
fun out
are.
there.
Yeah.
Tremendous
Yeah.
sense of fun. They don't have our earthly sense of weighted seriousness.
Yes, exactly.
They have
Yeah.
a far different level of knowledge, far higher level of knowledge.
Yeah.
So, what we perceive as really things that matter don't always matter.
Is
You
yes.
know.
Yes.
So yeah, I've had that. I've had the Christ consciousness as well. But in a
Yes.
hugely positive
And
sense,
that
and the Marian
agree.
consciousness as well. And that
Yes.
again for me is the divine masculine, the divine feminine coming
Yes.
together and sort of embracing me
Yeah.
as the
Yeah.
combination of both. That was an incredibly loving, beautiful experience of equals. There was no sense of authority about it. It was just
Mm,
like we are all together in this,
mm,
and journey with me or with us.
yeah. Yeah. So different.
Yeah.
You can see the different. I hope the listeners and viewers can
Mm,
see the difference in that when you actually have that embodiment and feeling of that. The
yeah.
love almost washes. It's like a shower. It washes over you. The
There is, and there
unconditional
is
love.
a certainty
So
or
different.
knowledge as well. You just
Yes.
know this is the
Know it.
correct thing. The minute you are questioning it, then you're probably not on the right track.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and
Exactly.
that's a good thing. Please do question it.
Mm,
Don't just accept, but allow your heart to feel,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's the only way you'll truly know if
Mm,
this is a guide for you or not.
yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that nicely fits in with the self-worth card that
Doesn't
you've
it?
got,
It's
doesn't it,
card number
Robert?
3.
So,
Absolutely.
so
If you don't
nicely.
value yourself,
Yeah. Mm.
you can't expect others to value you, and that includes guides.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
that sounds perhaps a little unkind to say that the guides don't value you. They do value you, but they can see your own hesitation and your own fears and your own lack of self-worth. But there's not a lot they can do unless you can get to a level to connect to them.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
it's all very fine to say, right, I'm going to meditate now and call down guides to help me. They might not be able to reach you because you're not reaching up.
Yes. Yes.
And that brings in that whole difficulty people always talk to me about is, how do you meet your guides? I've meditated for hours and they just don't come. And
Mm.
think, you don't have to meditate.
Mm.
Go for a walk and lean on a tree, or
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
stare out the window or dance.
Yes.
Do
Yeah.
something that gives you joy, and that will
Exactly.
automatically raise your vibration and automatically open the gate. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, when I could say meditate, it's not what you think it is it? When we say about meditation,
Yeah.
there's either that or people just don't even bother. As people, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but people might be too busy, haven't
Mm,
got time to do this, haven't got time to go for a walk, but has time to sit and watch telly for 2 hours on a night because they're
yeah.
tired and
Yeah.
I just want to. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes, yeah, you've had a bad day and you just want to do that. Days like that are fantastic. They're fine, but not day after day and just saying, well, I meditated for 5 minutes, nothing happened,
Yeah.
so it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's rubbish. It doesn't work. It's like, no, if you were learning to drive a car, would you expect to just have 5 minutes and again know how to go into
Yeah.
Formula One racing circuit? It doesn't work like that. There's a lot of persistence with this, a lot of
Absolutely.
patience. So the patience comes, you can be at one patience being just a very neutral observer about things can come with a walk in the woods, can come with a walk along the beach. So
Mm.
walking in nature where you can get into the rhythm of true earth, where there's somewhere where there's not doesn't feel like there's so many distortions going on, really connecting in with that because there are The guides are, I'm going to say right now, the guides are up there. They're not exactly up, we would see them as being up in the sky, but there are some guides that are, that you would see, that the two-dimensional guides that you might be missing, the beautiful water spirits, let's call them fairies as well, and all the different
All
things
the elementals,
all the elementals that you might miss, and that you can, literally, without even trying to do something, you can go in the woods and think, I thought something was moving in those trees, and it could be also, it can even be your other selves. We're going to go into that as well in another podcast, but yeah, that you're then missing a trip because you're trying to do something that probably, I'm going to say, doesn't even really exist in terms of wanting to go to the outside of you, to connect and learn things. This is where we're talking about, so Robert picked that self-worth card. So this is where, I want to call now self-mastery. So it really is this understanding your self-worth more than just your human beingness, more than that. And I think we still look at self-worth of almost like a hierarchy. So I'll get a lot of clients coming to me and there's no confidence in what they can do, or they'll say, well, other people can do this and I can't. What's that doing? You are comparing yourself to other people. What if you could, within a month, do far more? I've seen people go on to do far more in 1 month than some people are doing in years and years, just because they've literally been quite persistent in what they do, being just done what you feel like you need to do, and that's going within, that's connecting with your true, with your soul, connecting with your higher self, who actually, yes, will feel different when I connect with higher self. It can, at this point in time, as being a human being, it can feel that it's something else, but it isn't. We know the difference. It's basically you looking down on yourself, bird's eye view, as a, with the human as a fractal, going, this is the experience we've given to you, Julie. We're going to let you, work it out, work some out for yourself. Because that's the other thing about why connect, because often people go, well, it's because I haven't got any money and I want them to tell me how to get money, or because I want to help with, I want to help with, I don't know, relationships or whatever, a better life. I want them to tell me, am I going to meet this tall, dark, handsome stranger? Can you do this for me? Can you do this? Can you tell me my future? And that's fine. There are potentials in future, but this is where Rob and I want to tell you, this is why you don't need to play victim. You don't need to look at somebody else to give you the questions. We are all about, everything that my guides have given us, I'm sure, like you, Rob, it is about helping you to connect with your inner self, helping you to connect with your true self, which feels higher and works more beyond humanness, rather than, oh, let's connect with, this guide and that guide. What happens then naturally is the guides come down. You feel, that. And when I say come down, they just project themselves down. It just feels like that. But, more than, the thing that you need to do is find out who you are. Who am I? Ask that question is a far better question than, can you tell me, the lottery results, or can you tell me how, in 6 months time, am I going to be this? Well, that's what you've got to decide. You've got to create that goal yourself, whatever goal it is you want in 6 months time. The guides will help you, and it will also be in line with your contract, but you are also, the contract comes from who, the sort of frequency you are. It's not coming, the contract's not coming to you with you going, sort of almost like, oh, I'm out of control. It's part of my contract, so I'm not in control of my contract. No, you are very much in control, and when you go into it, you can change your contract as well, if you have everything in place and have done, when I say everything, it doesn't even have to be everything, but you can upgrade your contract at any time, just through, the work that you can do within.
Yeah, always within. And every time I connect to the guides and you get that really solid link,
Yeah.
it is such a personal connection, and the information is for me. at
Yeah.
that time and place and moment and intention.
Mm,
So I'm not channeling lovely generic information about the future of the world.
yeah.
You can do that. They can
If
show
you
you
want.
things, but essentially they're connecting to me
Mm,
for a reason with information I need.
yeah. Yeah.
You know, I can share that because it's the information that I need might be the information that others need, so I
Yes.
can pass that on. But in principle, they're giving me what I need to ascend,
Yes.
and it's up to me to use it or not use it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm.
So there you
Okay.
go. That's Guides 101.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Literally the start of it. We've got
Yeah.
plenty, of opportunity to, to tell you some of our experiences with guides and what we know. But, for this, I think that's it for this episode. Can you see we've gone into, the cards that Rob got, the denial, the ignorance and arrogance. We have to kind of remove them right now, disband them, and work with being, the intention, work with being curious. I'm curious about what I could potentially do. I'm curious about what my higher self is. I'm curious about my soul. Remembering that, we constantly, instead of listening to soul, we constantly listen to ego and our mind, don't we? So why not change that a little bit? And, instead of listening to ego and constantly playing either a victim or not understanding, change that over and connect with soul and connect with higher self. And Rob and I do help people do that. If anybody's out there wanting to do that, if you can't do that yourself, completely connect within. This intention part of it, is to completely connect within, to ask that question, who am I? What am I here? What am I here to do? Even for myself as well as serving it. We're never here to serve whilst we're struggling. That doesn't work in that way. Doesn't mean to say we have to have everything sorted either. I don't know when we'll all get everything sorted. We'll know that when we get to the next frequency. If we want to
Yeah.
say it like that. If we want to say it won't even feel like that. And thirdly, self-worth. Definitely, all this, being a master of who you are, being a master of true self, understanding how powerful you are. We always say this: please stop being disempowered, and really understand. So you can go to other people by all means. I look out to see who else can help me, but when they somebody else who can help me, I'll always discern. There'll be things that I agree with and things that don't, and that is absolutely fine. So do that as well, and just continue. When you do that, you start going within and start getting the answers more, because you've opened yourself up through that. And that's a lot of mastery.
Yeah.
My membership, I'm going through a lot of self-mastery with clients at the moment, to help us understand, and just this self-worth, just to help yourself understand how worthy every single person on this planet is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And try.
Mm,
Try, if you're not connected to guides, try. Yeah.
yeah,
Just
absolutely.
discern, do it with honesty, and do it
Mm,
looking for honest answers about things that matter. And
mm,
just see what happens.
yes,
And
yes.
don't expect miracles, don't expect an instant fix. Just gently try it and
Mm.
set very little expectation. Just leave yourself open
Oh,
and see what
yes.
comes in. And if nothing comes in, then give your eye a call. We'll help you
Yes,
bring your guides
yeah.
through.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
you just need,
Yeah.
I'm going to say those codes. It basically
Yeah.
just needs some information to create that confidence, to create that
Yeah.
shift in the fact that you can, and just a little tweak. It's like when you go on driving lessons, you just need somebody to, you drive, you're in the driving seat, but just somebody to just guide you.
Hmm.
We are guides as much as the higher realm guides. Yeah, but, there's nothing to say, we're always here to say, just what, do things for yourself. Look at it yourself. Keep practicing, keep persevering with it, and just literally keep on doing all this wonderful work to remove all the old bits of you, all the old identities that shouldn't even exist, the victim mode identities, all the fear mode. Then you can really, we can really all progress. We're here to help every single one of us progress, move up through the frequencies to help.
Absolutely. And stay tuned to series 3 because we'll be talking about guides a lot.
Yes, all about guides.
Yeah. But
Yes.
feel free to share your guide experiences with us.
Yes, definitely.
Or ask your
We
questions.
always, ask questions, because we can put them on, we can answer them on the podcast. We can connect with our guides to help us tell you the information that we know. Yeah. Okay, Rob. I think that's a wrap for this one.
Absolutely.
So thank you for joining us, and we will see you, or you can hear us, next week. Bye for now.
Bye now.